I travel with two different delays, not because I can't get pretty much everything I want with an M9. I have a few schools of thoughts behind what I travel with. This is a very, it has digital delay capabilities, but Boss builds the Giga delay. I've used Boss pedals for years, and they travel well. They're hardcore, well-built pedals, so wherever I am in the world, I'm less concerned that Boss pedal is ever going to go down because I've never had one go down. And so the M9 is such a great pedal, but with all that it does, the power current around the world is not the same, so I'm a little more careful that it could. I've had one fry on me more than once, and it's just because people aren't aware of what they're plugging it into, and you have help that are trying to do their best, but it doesn't always translate that way. It doesn't always work that way. So I travel with two more to be able to cover bases than step on them all at the same time, and that's another mistake I think people make with effects and pedal boards. Is this looks great, and you can have 100 pedals on your board, but seldom are you really running more than a couple. And so I want to give you a demonstration of using a couple delays at a time. So there's my quarter note delay that's very basic. I'm going to kick the ED20, the Giga delay on, and all I have it set is an eighth note delay. So you've got a quarter and an eighth. So you have so if you hear you have a little bit of the bouncing effect going on, and what that really helps with is if I'm doing more tone swells, just the way the delays are interacting creates very unique tones. And anymore, especially in today's modern worship kind of guitar world, you have a lot of atmospheric sounds. You have a lot of tones that are built on cool sounds. A lot of times we don't even know how we're getting them. You've got guys twisting knobs, and that's part of the fun. So to me, tone, back to that big T word, it's great that you can do all of that, but it's also very important that when you're playing a song, that a part that you're trying to deliver and cover within a song doesn't become a distraction. So two delays could be great, but I'll give you an example. If I jacked up feedback levels and I had too much of the atmospheric going on, I couldn't be as toneful. I could be atmospheric. I could be tasteful in doing simple things and creating stuff that has a lot of life in it, ambience. But if I wanted to be more tone driven and play parts and movements, I can get in the way. So here's with a lot of delay and feedback on both of the delays. Now you can make it cool, and you can make a song out of something that you can come up with great ideas. But if I were playing, let's say, as we get into this Don song, Hiding Place, when we get to the chorus, you are my strength, oh God. Hear how messy that is? You will approve. So the delay's out of time. I've got multiple things going on. There's a lot then that's competing for that space. So if I dial it back, I'll demonstrate what I do on a chorus section of that song. First of all, I'm going to go back to the one delay instead of the two. See, by hitting more diamonds on that part, which is what I'm playing like the first time around on a chorus, the delay works really well. But if I get into the chunking part, it's still okay. But what I do typically on that song is I switch delays to one that's a lot more reminiscent to this. And I'm just tweaking the same delay for an example. I've just taken the mix, which is the amount of the overall effect. I'm turning it down so that you're not hearing as much of the delay to begin with. Now you can hear it when I stop, but in the middle of the song, it's not calculating and becoming a mess. So a chunk part. So you have the delay, but it's not fighting then. So important to tone is learning how to kind of just manipulate the amount of a delay in the mix, but also the feedback and the decay. And to give you an example, if I were playing a more bluesy part of a song, I'm going to switch back to the DD20. This is that eighth note delay, very simply dialed in, not a lot of feedback. So it's barely in there. Just enough to give a little repeat, so it's great. That's what you'll hear most often on solos. Guys will dial in a very simple delay, eighth or quarter, most typically, just to give you a little bit of the trail of a note. So see, that's got a little more feedback on it. Less is a little better. So one repeat, and then it starts to trail off, and you barely hear it's there. So learning to do that with your tone and matching that with fingers and nuances of bending notes, all of that kind of helps define tone. So to me, that's the starting point. You pick good sounds, you learn to manipulate them well, and that starts helping define tone.